When I saw my results, I was shocked. I cried, and I was just with God, and I had to ask God questions as to why this could have happened. Are you trying to teach me something, or is there something that I was missing? Aside from the shock, was a huge shift. So I had to learn, start again, look at what I didn't do right, then see it as a platform for me to then. And another thing that I also bore in mind was to always remind myself that I'm actually good enough.
That you're good enough.
Yeah, because with disappointment comes self-doubt.
Hi viewers, welcome back to QuestLab podcast. And this is my MyUKStory Series, where we talk about life, talk about impact, and talk about success stories. But beyond all of these, we also want to look into the struggles, the setback that some of us had to experience before we get to that peak of our life. And joining me today on this series is no other person than a doctor. Permit me to also call her a very close friend, but we are not getting close yet. We are just in the process. She's a sister and someone who has seen the highs and lows of life. Someone whose story is really, really important for us to hear, so we can as well pick one or two things and model our life, our journey in that direction. And the person is Dr. Precious, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good to see you. How are you
Good
today?
to see you. I'm great, thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
So honored to have you on the show too.
Thank you.
I mean, it was a lot of conversations having to bring Dr. Precious down to this program. And one thing that, really, really stand out for us is the fact that she has seen the highs and the lows in her career, and to get to where she is currently, I think is worthy. People learn from your journey, learn from the setbacks, learn from what you've experienced and what has modeled you to become who you are today. Are you happy to share your story with people today?
Definitely. That's why we're here.
Before we go, deeply into the conversation, I would just want you to do the honor. I would have loved to do it, but I don't think I'll do justice to introducing you properly. So I want you to introduce yourself to the viewers, what you do, where you're from, and what you just think we should know as an introduction to the show.
Okay. All right. My name is Precious.
Why don't you like using Dr. Precious?
To be honest, I'm not used to it. I'd rather people know me for me before, the doctor name. But yeah, that's fine. I'm Dr. Precious Onyinyechi Kenko. I'm from the southeastern part of Nigeria.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm someone who is a GP now. We've crossed that hurdle of passing the licensing exam. So yes, I'm someone who enjoys cooking food and also traveling. You just need that break.
That fresh air. Just relax,
Yeah.
get out there, have fun. Just do what you need to do, just to get yourself settled.
Yes.
But can you tell us? You are a GP, like you mentioned. Was that a plan right from onset? From when you went to uni, growing up, that ambitious self. Is that the picture you were looking at, or that is just what life brings to the table for you?
Well, when I first started out medical school, I've always, as a child, wanted to be a doctor, interestingly. At some point, when we were writing JAMB and things weren't going our way, I was, thinking of opting for something different. But my dad reminded me of my dream and said, you don't have to actually settle for something lesser than what, if God has put that in your heart, then why not? So I tried, and then eventually I went into medical school. And, medical school, you go through different departments. You will, get exposed to different things, and then you then think, probably, this might suit me. So when I left medical school, I wanted to be an obstetrician and gynecologists, those people that take care of women because of the challenges that we see, especially where we come from, that women go through during pregnancy and all of that. So that was something that I thought, would be good for me. And also I had a very good experience with the people that I worked with. But coming into the UK, I looked at the system and how long it would take. I saw that it was an average of about 6 years.
To, become a gynecologist, to get to that point.
Exactly, yes. And I'm also someone who likes to relate with people as best I can. Someone that I have been told I have a lot of empathy. I like to, see how I can help and
look out for people.
Yeah, and then I like the variety as well of medicine. So I then, I had two options. Either go with what I've always thought I would do, which is obstetrics and gynecology, or go for family medicine, which is commonly called general practice here.
Yeah.
So the winning point for me was, it wasn't as long. It's not as long as, obstetrics.
Yeah.
It's 3 years.
Okay.
And it's still the same salary pay scale that you will still earn.
Really? Is this the same salary structure?
Yeah.
But longer years. Why?
Well, it's because of the way the training program is structured.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are more things to do. There are different aspects of gynecology that you need to look into before you can be licensed to say you are a gynecologist or an obstetrician. So it's a bit more rigorous. When I looked at that, I decided to lean towards general practice since it's something that I still, like. And yeah, here we are.
I mean, it's just so interesting to know that you were able to find a pivot point of making decision. But also, we would like to know, because on this series of My UK Stories, we are not just telling stories because of how interesting they sound, but because of the impact it could make. Because we believe every story has a reason. And I believe so well that one of the major reasons is for transformation. Yeah. And what we are trying to project on the show is that when people listen to your story, understand everything, all of the metrics that you used to, you pull things together yourself and how it worked for you. So people can emulate that, people can pick that thing and also apply in their life to see the same result or probably similar results. So we want to know, what in your journey, what does failing forward means to you? Is it a mindset, or is it a decision, or is it an instinct or something else? What does failing forward means to you? Because I'm so sure at the journey of your life, you've experienced some setbacks.
Definitely.
And I'm sure at some point you make some decisions. So at that point where you experience all of this setback, what was it to you? Was it like the setback was as a result of your mindset or decisions or instinct, or some people will say village people, they follow me for back. So what does it mean to you?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Failing forward as a term is where you use your failure as a platform to grow or become better. Now, this was something that as a person I wouldn't have been very comfortable with, because for me, I don't like the idea of failure. I'm sure most people don't.
People don't like anytime people hear the word failure, is like devil.
Exactly.
Failure is associated with devil.
And I'm a child of God. We don't fail. So that kind of a thing. So it's not something that I as a person would have, thought of or welcome, because I'm a strong believer in, if you have certain things you need to do it well, because in as much as we have God backing us, it still requires some form of preparation. Yeah. So, but it's actually a concept that I've come to actually like, because sometimes you might not be able to appreciate certain successes if you haven't failed. If you haven't actually failed in that area, you might take it for granted, because for someone like me, because of the understanding I have, I believe that if I can prepare for it, then I shouldn't fail. I haven't had to fail any medical exam before. So coming to the UK, understanding the system and seeing that there are certain aspects aside from, just your head knowledge that is important. It's a big shift for me. So when I recently wrote the final exam for me to become a GP, that was in September, and I did what I thought I should have done, which was to prepare with people, read as much as I can, but I did all of that, and then when I saw my results, I was shocked. So that for me, aside from the shock, was a huge shift. So I had to learn, start again, look at what I didn't do right, then see it as a platform for me to then.
Sorry, when you mentioned that you had to write an exam, so we've had several conversations around people writing exams in the UK. And some of the popular excuses that people use is the fact that they say, that's not my result. They failed me intentionally. And sometimes, where we're coming from, right? We have scenarios or we have understanding that sometimes you could write an exam and you're failed intentionally, not because you did not prepare or not because you've written down wrong things, but there are just some unforeseen circumstance that is just related to that failure that they can point to. But we find ourselves in this system and people still say that I was intentionally failed because, of my... And it's like, and I asked myself, I said, is that possible? Yeah. Or are there some essential skills? And when I talk about skills, I'm saying impact, knowledge that we need to come to understanding to be able to scale through all of these, exams. So to you, would you say they failed you intentionally, or there were some bits that you were unable to decipher on time? It was after you failed, then you understood what you needed to have done earlier. So was that for you, or they failed intentionally?
No.
They don't want you to become a GP in their...
To be honest, that is a very good question and a very popular
preconceptions
with our people. And if I'm being honest, looking back, I don't think they failed me intentionally.
Okay.
Why do I
Viewers, are you listening now? She's saying the truth. They did not fail her intention. I have a series of people who say this, that I was failed intentionally.
Yeah, and it actually happens. There are actually statistics to show, especially in the UK, where there are a lot of immigrants, and there are certain things that people, normally, if it were to be their own people, would have done, they would have gotten away with it. But because you're of a particular skin color, they wouldn't let it off so easily. So those things happen, to be honest. But what that means is that you then need to put in the extra effort to make sure that you overcome that barrier. So there are statistics to prove it, but then there are also statistics to show that people like myself are also passing this exam. So when you try to look at it, because to be honest, it actually happened to me where I was speaking to people, and when I was practicing for my exam, they were like, Precious, how come you failed? The Precious I'm looking at now shouldn't have failed. And it's very easy for you to then start to think that way, that actually probably these people were against me. You have to you shouldn't allow that get to you, because when that happens, you then go with the wrong mindset that these people are already out against me. Meanwhile, you cheat yourself of the opportunity to then look back and reflect on the areas that you did wrongly. And looking back, there's a part of the exam called interpersonal skills.
Interpersonal skills.
Yeah. And in that aspect, they're not really looking out to see how, intelligent you are. They want to understand how well you're relating with that person. How is your patient able to open up to you, and then you're able to gather more information.
Much more information.
Yeah, so things, structured around their life that
More
people
like a conversation skill.
Exactly. So things
Where we are coming from, we know to the talk.
No, we don't tell you. It's straight to the point. Madam, do you have cough?
Is it?
Your leg paining you? Exactly. Okay.
What? They go straight
To the point. Nobody
and sometimes
cares.
they even assume with this your eyes, I think you get malaria.
You get malaria, yes. When where we're coming from, if you give people room, especially our mommies, then mommy, doctor, I have internal heat. You people do, what is internal heat? But then, those kind of things.
Wow.
So yeah, I actually learned that from that the system isn't actually out to get you. There are just some things you need to learn to adapt to the system for you to overcome that barrier.
So if I may ask, just give me like a rough statistics now. I understand the figure might not really be accurate, but just a rough statistics. So from your circle, or let me say from friends that you know that have done this exam, what's the success rate like for you?
Okay. So part of the things that happened was when that exam, I didn't pass it. I went online and then I looked at the statistics of, those born here and then those born, those outside of the British race, immigrants. So I saw that actually it's as high as 60% of us not passing the exam the first
60% not passing.
So that was a lot. But when I looked within my circle, I met people that had actually passed the exam once, and there were a few more others that had to write it at least twice, and then there were other people that have written the exam 4 times, and then they even had to be asked to leave training. So there is that barrier, to be honest.
So if we have 60% of people, I mean, these are rough statistics to say, the success rate and the failure rates in the exam of becoming a GP in the UK. And this, leads me to the next question. So for you, when you know this, what was your thought? I mean, I understand that you had to learn, you had to understand that area you were failing. But can we talk about your mental state as well? Because I'm so sure anyone that has failed before, right? I've come to a point where they have to deal with it mentally.
Yeah.
Because sometimes don't go back to writing the exam again.
Yeah.
Some people sometimes just give up. While some go back, write the exam and still fail.
Yeah.
Because of the state of mind. So what was the shift for you mentally?
Okay. Yeah, so when that happened, to be very honest with you, when you're expecting something, it might not hit as hard.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting that fail. So
it came as a shock.
It didn't enter where.
Wow.
So what I did at that point in time, because it was a huge disappointment, because the exam is not cheap. So that means you have to cough out not just the money, the time, the stress, because you're still going to work, you're still doing everything. I took a break.
You took a break intentionally.
An intentional break. I
Okay.
didn't, because most people will say, oh, you know what, you need to get back on the horse. The knowledge is still fresh in your head. Keep on, preparing. But I just needed to process it. So I took a break. And during that break, what did I do? The cry, the tears. Yeah, because it was really painful. So I needed to let out my emotions. So I cried, and, I was just, with God, and I had to ask God questions as to, why this could have happened. Are you trying to teach me something, or is there something that I was missing? So I did all of that. Then I went back to my result, because the good thing about the exam is that they will give you feedback on the areas where they thought you didn't do well. It might be a generic kind of feedback, but you can still pick things out. So I then figured out that it was this interpersonal skills that I scored the lowest on, because there are 3 domains to the exam. So that was the area that I scored the lowest on. So I then had to go and speak to people that I've worked with. Do you actually think this is a challenge? From the times that I've spoken with you, is this a challenge? They were like, I've not gotten that, perspective. But the problem is we're Nigerians. So we might not see it clearly because this is not our normal.
It's not,
it's not normal for you.
Yeah.
So they gave me advice to then interact with those who were born and bred here, those that were British. They'd be able to highlight the areas that you're missing it. And I did that. I interacted with some other people that, actually trained, in the UK. And they told me, rather than you saying this way, why don't you say it this way? Yeah. So,
can you give us one example?
Okay.
One example.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So most times when you're trying to communicate a plan to a patient, for example, if I'm treating somebody that has a cold, like normal cough and catarrh, that is not, and they're expecting antibiotics. So that they don't need antibiotics. So you then ask them, okay, so what I actually think might be going on is the common bug, the common flu, and usually it will go away within a week or two. What do you think about we waiting and then seeing? Yeah.
Okay.
So you're trying to get them to think with you and agree with you.
So giving them that option, that liberty to also make decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it has to be patient centered. So
that's key. Patient centered.
So they have to agree with you. So when you do it like that, or then you can then ask them, or what would you rather we do? What do you think about what I've said? Would you rather still think you need antibiotics? And if they are, the kind that say, no, I need antibiotics. Because we're still within guidelines to practice in the UK. There are certain things that you have to stick by when you're treating a person in the UK. So, you can then offer them the option, okay, I understand that you really want antibiotics. How about we give you some... Let's delay the antibiotics after a few days and see if you actually...
Just to see if there will be any positive change.
Yeah. So that's it.
But... at that point in time, you were able to take intentional break.
Yes.
Crouch your emotions.
Reflect.
Redirect your approach. Meet with the right set of people.
Yep.
Sit back again to readjust based on the feedback you've gotten.
Plan and strategize.
Then your mind was now fully ready.
Yeah.
Because you believe you have all of the informations that were missing the previous.
Yeah. And another thing that I also, bore in mind was to always remind myself that I'm actually good enough.
That you're good enough.
Yeah, because with disappointment comes self-doubt. You can actually think that maybe I'm not good enough, that's why I failed. But you actually have to remind yourself that you're actually good enough. Sometimes if you look at feedback from previous people, look at how far you have come in your journey. Actually, you have to give yourself that self-boost. And sometimes if you're not able to, you should have a circle of friends that can actually give you that self-boost. So surround yourself with the right people. Because at that point in time, when I was then preparing, there was a bit of fear, I won't lie to you.
Doubt.
Yeah, that I can fail again. But I had friends who said, no be you. If you run am now,
Do you know, if we look at it directly, sometimes we can pinpoint failure to not necessarily being the output of the person when it comes to the knowledge base or maybe question based theories, but we can pinpoint failure to self-doubt.
Yes.
We have seen people who got into this country and they found themselves in a space where they had to work with their peers. But because of some reasons that we don't know, we see them operate from a self-doubt point of view, from a place where you can tell that this guy or this lady is scared. This lady is panicking. This lady does not have self-confidence. And that alone kills.
Yep.
That alone attracts failures. Because what fear does is it brings destruction to you.
Yeah.
It brings, timid to you. It brings so many negative vibe to you. And I also believe that if that can be addressed, because like you mentioned, you have to tell yourself intentionally that you are good enough. I tell people there is nobody as good as you are.
Yep.
It is until you get to that point of reflection. Yes, there's a point, or there's a room for improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
But you also need to get to a point where you know nobody can be as good as I am.
Yes.
Because that will give you leverage to try so many things with audacity, with boldness, with confidence.
Yep. You're very right.
So this is to people, or to someone watching who you've experienced some setback before, you've experienced some failure. I'll just summarize what she said. Failure sometimes is not rejection.
Yes.
Failure could be redirection.
Totally agree.
It could be redirection.
Yeah.
It could be redirection. And that will take us to our next question. So, I mean, you've been working as a GP in the UK for how many years now? Practicing as a GP in the UK for how many years?
So I'm concluding my training, which is about 3 years. So you can roughly say, as a full GP, not yet.
Okay.
Yes, but my training has been 3 years, so 3 years plus now. So yes, I would say.
So how's the experience been for you? Like, we are still going back to some of the the things you did to get you to this point, but can we also move into the area where you have that relief of, oh, finally?
Yes.
Or what was the reaction after you passed? Let's start from there.
So
did you throw a party?
See, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I was shaking.
Oh, really?
So there is a set time that the result is released, 5 p.m. on a Tuesday.
5 p.m. on a Tuesday.
I was not myself.
Oh.
So my friend was on the phone with me and was like, Precious, calm down. My computer was open. I was on the website. I was just waiting. We were counting down. 4:58, 4:59, 5 o'clock. What you will first of all see is successful. Tears. I cried. I wailed. No, it was a huge. And do you know the fantastic thing about
what was it? Yeah.
The area that I failed was my strongest point.
Ooh.
Out of my 12 cases, I did not fail one interpersonal skill station. So
should we then say you paid absolute attention to your previous setback? Then you, in a way, not like you neglected the other part, but there was no adequate attention to other, because you really just believe, I think you can manage
those other ones. So
wow.
I paid enough attention, and at some point during my exam, like with the patients that I was interacting with, you could tell that they were actually surprised. They were laughing. In an exam scenario where there's a lot of tension, not just for you, because the people that are there as the actors are under a lot of stress. They have a script that they have to set, follow through, and they have people that are watching them to make sure that everything goes well. So the fact that they were relaxed enough to laugh was just remarkable. And it was not just one, it was not just two, it was not just three. So when I saw it, I was like, God, you're good. I was so happy. I was tears of joy. But we thank God.
I mean, can I ask this? This is not part of what, I want us to touch on, but I just felt like asking. So, is it possible for someone outside of UK to write the exam as well, even while not practicing in the UK?
So you can write the exam to enter GP training from Nigeria. The popular exam.
Not necessarily Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, any Europe countries and the like. Yeah, you can write the exam.
Yes, you can, but there are some things that you need to do first. You need to write the licensing exam to practice in the UK first. It's called PLAB. There's 1 and 2. So after you've done that and you're registered to practice in the UK, you can, if you're still within, let's say, Ghana, Nigeria, and you haven't gotten a job yet, you can actually get training slots, and then you can come into the UK to start GP training directly. So
is there like I'm trying to help the viewers, because I'm sure some people are thinking, how can I get some of this information aside from just watching Dr. Precious speak on this show? Are there like materials? Are there like websites? Are there like tools where they can prep themselves while they prepare ahead for the exam that you are willing to share?
Yeah. So for the MSRA exam, there are different tutorial platforms. There are different websites. The one that I use that helped me is popularly called Past Medicine, and they have it not just for those that want to become GPs, also for GPs that want to write certain parts of the exam as well. So that's a platform that you can use to prepare, but there are other ones. I'm sure by the time you start looking into it, you can always find them. So that's a question bank that is very useful in preparing for the MSRA.
Don't worry, guys. What I would do, I will get all of this information tailored out from Dr. Precious, right? We put them in text and we share it across all our platforms. So while you're watching, you go through probably the comment section, or we put a link where you can get all of this information and access them. Okay, but before you do all of that, don't forget to always like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't worry, before Dr. Precious leave the show today, she'll give us her handle. People might want to follow you, people might want to have you. I mean, do you have any plan to mentor people?
Well, yes.
To support people?
Definitely, yes. It's not something that I'm doing officially, but definitely it's something that I am looking to, share more with people, because this is a common struggle.
Yeah.
So when you have people who have been through it, it's much easier for you.
It's easier.
Looking forward. So yeah, definitely, I'm always happy to.
So you guys listen. This is these are paid. What should I call it? Paid resources that you sweat to get, and we have Dr. Precious who is willing to give this access to you guys. So we'll probably share your informations like our email address and probably our social handles where you can send her a direct message and show your interest, then she can pick it up from there. But can we also go back into your experience now that you're practicing? I know the experience is really good for you, but have there been some new challenges, or should I call them new expectations that are beyond the board for you that you are currently dealing with or you're currently managing?
Yes. So practicing in the UK is definitely very different from practicing in Nigeria, where things are, in the UK, you have to be a bit more patient-centered.
Are there no patients in Nigeria?
There are, but it's different.
But
it's definitely a different ball game.
But sorry I know you go back to you. Sorry, but on socials these days, we are also seeing improvements in the health care system in Nigeria. How that there are more equipment, more staff. They are also trying to understand burnout and try to see how they could manage it across board. So I would want to say Nigerian is improving as regards healthcare system. So when you say it's patient-centered, I think over there we are improving.
Yes, we are.
We are not there
we're not there yet, but we are still improving.
We're improving.
Yes, so I agree with you. We are still improving in that aspect. So when I mean patient-centered, it's the way the system is structured here. We have a governing body that actually makes sure that the doctors are falling in line and doing things
the right
way, and your patient is happy. And there are certain circumstances or situations where you find yourself where you're practicing and you're getting complaints. Now, complaints in where we come from might not be a big thing. You might just say, okay, she's not happy, that's fine. But here, they would make it as formal as possible. And when you get that complaint, it's not just you dealing with it, it's the entire practice. And it's a bit scary, because if that person is not happy, they can still take it up. They can report you as a doctor and get your license taken off you.
That's very relative, because I've once had a conversation with someone who told me of a disciplinary case going on in his place of work, and it was as a result of negative feedback. And from the conversation I had with this person, it was obvious that the feedback was not true. It was a feedback that served as a setup. But how do you, in a medical space that place such emphasis on feedback, how do you manage your feedback? Because sometimes there's some feedback that's not as a result of your consultation or your advice, but it's as a result of probably the person doesn't just like you.
Yeah.
Maybe the person just don't like the way you're looking beautiful or the way you're sounding so nice, and they just raise such negative feedback. So how do you manage, or how do you set yourself in a place where you don't get negative feedback? Or are you saying you don't get negative feedback at all? It's always positive?
It's not going to be always positive all the time. And the truth is, even as much, you can try to be as careful as you can.
Yeah.
But it will still come. That's one thing I realized. And one thing that I found to be very useful is to be very observant.
Observant,
Yeah.
okay.
So when things aren't really going your way, when you're talking to someone, you can clearly see that this person is not just buying it. You if you're observant, you can then pick on those things. If there are things that you can sort out or let go of at that point in time, just do it. Just let go. And they say how do they put it? You win. You lose the battle to win the war.
Yeah, you lose some battles to win. Yeah.
Not everything you have to be so strict with. If, for example, you can see a person that's so adamant on getting certain antibiotics, if it's within reason, you can do it. So you just let go of some things. But there are some times where some of these things are unavoidable.
Unavoidable.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example of something that happened. I met a particular patient, and I gave her my thought process on what could be going on. Despite her symptoms and the fact that this was what was happening, she took something entirely different. She thought maybe because, there is a particular infection, maybe I'm telling her that her partner is cheating on her. And rather than focus on the matter at hand, she complained. And what was the main thing was that I said that, there was unfaithfulness. So that was a big one for me. And in certain situations, it's a communication error. You try your possible best to apologize. Try your possible best to say, this was the reason why I said it, and I didn't mean it that way. If this happened, you apologize, and hope for the best as well.
But sorry, doctor, I mean, this is just for the viewers, because we've also had on these shows via emails, comment sections, or our chats, where people say you don't apologize in the UK. Like, I think I need to put that in context so people understand what I'm saying. So this person in quote said she apologized for something, and they kept telling her, why you apologize? And she said that she felt like what she said was wrong. And they said, no, you don't need to apologize all the time. Yeah. So we live in a space where your apology sometimes can sell you out again, because it might show that, yes, indeed, you've done what you are not supposed to do.
Yeah.
So how do you apologize without saying, some of this, or without shooting yourself, or without throwing yourself out there?
Yes. So, you're definitely right to say that you don't apologize for everything. It depends on the context. And you can say, okay, this was, I don't need to apologize for this, but this person felt wronged. So you can then say, even though this has happened, I apologize for the way it made you feel. What you did wasn't wrong, but the fact that, you felt this certain way, you cannot take away that person's feeling. So you then apologize. Okay, I'm sorry this made you feel this way. This was not my intention. You just need to use wisdom. Yeah, you're not.
Some people are exhausted.
I know.
Their choice of words in this country, because you want to be very careful, right, with your choice of words, and at the same time, you are just not sure of what exact word to use again. Like the context you used as an example. I apologize for how this made you feel. It takes you out of the bracket to say, oh, you've done something. No, you're putting that person as a subject now.
Exactly,
But another problem, we live in a society or community or in a country where I don't want to say English is not our first language, but we
Yeah.
have that kind of understanding towards communication is also different from our own understanding. So, doctor, so people in the medical space, you know, that want to also grow or that are yet to find their feet, you know, what would you say is the crack code for you? Because it looks like you understand their language, you understand the system, you understand the model at which is important for every individual to know. So what would you, you know, advise viewers, advise people who are, you know, going through this direction to know what would be the crack code for you to share with them so that they can, you know, easily get into it, use it to scale up to the next phase without having to face so many challenges that you faced?
Yeah, yeah. So that's a good question because it's something that, especially if you're migrating to a new country as adults, it might be difficult for you to learn to adjust to a new environment. So, like they say, when in Rome, behave like the Romans. You have to be intentional about learning the lifestyle of the people. So one easy way is by having a few of them, you know, in your circle. It might not be easy, but if you find, okay, there are people that you can interact with, you actually will learn more from them, especially through observing as well. So they say, for example, watch movies, read up things online. That can help, but I learned a lot by observing my colleagues. So that actually I found it useful.
So observing your colleagues, are they the
Yeah.
ones at your par or the ones in the same role that you are
Yeah.
looking at or lower? Because if you say observing, you know, you don't want to tell people just keep observing.
No, not
they
just looking
observe.
at people. No, I mean definitely my colleagues.
Yeah.
So you can actually, if you find that there are people who are good natured, that are British born, that you can say, oh, I actually want to learn a bit more about, you know, how things are here. Can you please, you know, teach me a few things? Some of them might be able to help you. There are other people, Nigerians or others of your similar circle who have been here longer. They will actually give you tips on how to, you know, adjust and live in this environment. So I found that helpful as well. I'm not somebody that used to be very chatty. I used to be someone that when I come to work, I would do my work and then I
Just
go.
face your front.
And I go. But then I realized that here, you know, they will see you as, this lady's weird. Yeah.
They want someone to be very
conversational with, at least let them know a few things. You don't have to divulge your personal history, but little things here and there. Talk about the weather, talk about what you did over the weekend, you know, that kind of a thing.
It's a typical person. You understand what I'm saying? It's typical wee. You're talking about weather.
What is wrong with the weather?
we just carry on.
It's the weather.
But I mean, we are learning because the purpose of this show is not just to also lay much emphasis on the setback failures, like I mentioned earlier, but it's to also pay more attention to how that setback has shaped you mentally, you know, shaped your orientation, shaped your perspective, and how it has produced, you know, the transformational results we're seeing, so that people can then see that, oh, there is a shining light at the end of the tunnel.
Definitely,
The road might not be that smooth, but as long as you follow who know the road, there are other ways that you can, you know. Before we get to the end of the show, I mean, thank you, Dr. Precious. You've really shared so many insightful tips. But one of the things I will take home from the crack code question I mentioned to you is that you pay much attention to observing and also being conversational with your colleague to get right information. It's not just having conversations for the sake of talking, but because you have a set goal, you have the set aim, so your conversation was tailored in that direction, which has helped you. But finally, before we round up this section, I just want to ask Dr. Precious one more question. So, all of this journey that you've been through, what has it taught you in terms of resilience, in terms of identifying yourself? What has it really taught you that you now hold on to as a bulb, as a light that you walk with wherever you go?
Yeah. So it has taught me to know myself. It has also taught me an important lesson in the fact that your failure doesn't actually define you as a person. And to every challenge, there is a positive side of it. It depends on which side you want to be focused on. You know, some people can decide to be focused on the negative aspect, but it's an opportunity for you to learn and to reflect as well. So failure doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. We can learn from it, we can grow from it. And in that process, don't ever lose sight of who you are.
That's so good. I'll start by, say what she ended with. Don't ever lose sight of who you are. It's very important. And I would also like to add, just like she mentioned about knowing yourself properly. And it's also important that you know that you become whatever you behold.
Yes.
If you find yourself in the phase of life or the struggles of life, please pay much attention to the positive side, because you become what you behold. If you behold the positive side, trust me, you will become it. It's just a time and it's a season and probably the process.
Definitely.
But if you focus more on the negative side, there'll be back and forth.
There will be. You won't grow.
You won't grow.
You'll remain at that level.
So please focus on the positive side and just believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
You can do it.
And you also one day become a GP in the UK. I mean, it sounds so sweet. I imagine you discussing with your friend. Oh, what you do? I'm a GP.
Yeah.
And it sounds so big. Like, should I use 6-figure salary?
We are praying,
All right. Thank you so much on this episode on my UK story series. But we won't let Dr. Precious go without not, giving us some of our questions. So we have what we call fun fact, and we'd like to ask Dr. Precious. So she's going to tell us a yes or no answer. I believe it's going to be fun. And I believe you'll be sincere with your response.
I will try my best.
Okay. We have 10 questions, and we'll be very brief with the questions. Just 1 minute. Let me see which of it is really hard to start with. Okay, so I mean, from what she said, there are some questions there that I'm just laughing to, because I can imagine for someone who is a GP, time no the day. You won't I wanted to ask you a question about spa.
Spa.
Have you ever treated yourself to a spa day? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wow. Do you actually finish the series you start, or you just fall asleep 2 episodes in?
I fall asleep. 2 episodes is foul. Sometimes the first episode is still on and I'm asleep. So yes.
Would you survive a full week on NHS canteen food alone?
No. No.
You like it fresh?
I like my food. I like my food.
What's the best food?
Rice. Anything rice, but fried rice.
Really?
I love it. Yeah.
I think it's the first time I'm hearing someone say rice is the best food.
I love rice.
People usually mention things like maybe what's it called?
Amala.
Yeah, something that you don't really get often. Like you have to labor. You need to walk before you.
I can eat
So
rice.
rice is your best.
I can
Wow.
never get tired.
Wow. Are you a morning person, or does the job just force you to be a morning person?
On a normal day, I would have said I'm a morning person, but the job has made me more of a morning person.
But which do you prefer? Like, do you work night or morning?
During the training, you have to rotate through hospital, and then you get to do night shift. But normally, as a GP, you wouldn't do night shift. So, yeah, I'm a morning person.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you ever had a patient try to tell you what was wrong with them before you could speak?
Of course, a lot. People come with their long list of what is wrong with them. Just do what I say. Of course.
Have you ever had to explain something 5 different ways and still yet the person is blank?
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever smiled through a really difficult day and cried the moment you got home?
Yes, I have.
Would you do the old journey all over again, including the failure?
No.
Why? It's
Knowing
stressing.
what I know, yeah, probably if I had, a bit more information like I do now, definitely I could overcome that failure. But
Just 2 more questions, guys. Are you proud of the person the journey made you?
yes, definitely 100% yes.
And here's the big one. Do you believe the best is still ahead of you, or this is a full stop in your career?
It can never be. The best is still yet to come. Watch out for me, guys. Watch out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor who built a journey on a resilient spirit. Dr. Precious wants to say a very big thank you to you
Thank
for
you so
coming to
much.
this
Thank you so much.
show. Want to say thank you for your commitment. Thank you for the love you showed. I know it was a bit difficult managing, bringing you here, but here you are finally anyway.
We thank God.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I'm so
And
glad I'm here.
to the viewers, want to thank you for, sticking with us on this show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the share, all of the subscriptions. Want to say thank you, and we believe you're learning something very, very impactful from this show, and I believe it will cause a great transformation in you. We'll see you same time next month. Thank you. But before we go, it's our tradition to also honor Dr. Precious. So, Dr. Precious, from the team,
This is
QuestLab, we want to say thank you for coming. It's a token of appreciation to you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for honoring our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad.
All right, guys. See you same time, same day next month on My UK Story. Bye for now.
Bye.
I remain your host,